There's been 2 public questions that have been submitted in advance, and we have got a member of the public who will also be asking a question this evening, but if I can ask for the 2 questions that have been submitted in advance, please.
Yes, Chair. Question 1. Taken that the Places for Everyone plan is before the Council over the next 3 years, exactly how many social and affordable to rent homes will the Council be building on brownfield land / sites owned by the Council, either as the master developer or under a joint venture with an external social and affordable to rent housing developer?
The leader, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and thank Mr. Smith-Lawrence for his question. A really important one, and one in which a lot of activity has been taking place. I'm more than happy to update him on this. So there are a number of council-owned brownfield sites coming forward for development, some of which have had their day already at Cabinet. Others have previously been discussed and announced in relation to the brownfield funding we've received. Some of these sites include School Street in Radcliffe, which is already actually currently being worked on. That's just under 100 new properties. The Wheatfield site in Whitefield, which has again been awarded that brownfield fund money. That is currently approximately 25 to 30 properties on that site. The William Kemp Heaton site, which is next to Peachmont Place. And again, that's been awarded a secondary status around brownfield funding, and again, around 25 to 30 new properties there. And Fletcher Fold, which is again one of the former school sites. And that again is just about 25 to 30 new properties. So we're talking just under 200 on those sites, which, as I say, have been supported by the brownfield money as well. We've also got within that Seedfield, the brownfield parts of Seedfield, and again, that has been awarded additional money, and that will be coming forward, we hope, in the coming year. Now, all of these sites are expected to provide at least 25% affordable housing, hopefully, depending on the ultimate viability of them, even more than that. And some of these are likely to be developed, we believe and hope, for 100% affordable housing, and that includes a combination of affordable rent and shared ownership. And so again, some of this does depend on the costs of remediation and preparation for the sites, but we're really pleased that they will be coming forward for development. We are also working in partnership with Homes England to bring forward the East Lancashire paper mill site in Radcliffe. This is our biggest brownfield site in the borough of about 400 new properties. And again, we brought a report to Cabinet recently, which is seeking to enter into a partnership agreement with Homes England, who can not only progress that site as quickly as possible, but crucially access the funding to make it viable. So again, some really exciting progress on that in recent times. I think there's a supplementary question, so I'm happy to pause and answer that one after.
Yeah, thank you. Jackie,
thank you,
supplementary.
Yes. Supplementary question. As the Leader of the Council has previously stated that the Council would enter into joint ventures for the development of social and affordable to rent homes in the borough, exactly how many joint ventures regarding social and affordable to rent homes are the Council exploring as of today? And will these new social and affordable to rent homes be constructed to the Passivhaus Standard?
Okay, thank you very much for that, Jackie, and of course Mr. Smith-Lawrence again for the supplementary. So we are working through a range of partnership agreements. Some will be joint ventures, some will be through our joint commissioning partnerships, others will be through our accelerated land disposal process, all of which are intended to work with a combination of registered providers and house builders to deliver affordable housing. So we are well underway in those discussions and getting actually lots of strong interest from registered providers to deliver that affordable housing in Bury. I recently attended a couple sites with Irwell Valley, who were very keen to progress their ambitions for more affordable housing in Bury and enter into partnerships with the council on that. So we look forward to progressing as many of those relationships as possible. It is important to acknowledge, though, that affordable housing for rent is just one form of affordable housing, and through planning policy and the government's Affordable Homes programme, there is increasingly funding to increase opportunities for things like affordable home ownership outright, and also shared ownership and discount sale. So it is important we look not just to homes for rent, but a range of affordable housing. On the eco standards, and this is again something that fits within our housing strategy, but also the climate action plan, we are proposing to develop a Bury eco standard, and that will reflect the ambition to be carbon neutral on all new homes by 2028 and all existing homes by 2038. And again, I think this is a good example of how a local authority, with partners in the registered provider field, with the government, with Homes England, we can actually lead by example and show the private sector developers that these high standards can be met. Passivhaus is one of those current high standards, and I think in developing the Bury eco standard, those options, including Passivhaus, will be the principles we set for high quality eco standard homes.
Thank you, Leader. Question 2, please, Monitoring Officer.
Second question from the public is: the Council's climate strategy and plan contains several statements and actions which are in conflict with the elements of Places for Everyone. How will the Overview and Scrutiny Committee ensure Bury brings PFE in line with its zero carbon aims and similar aims across Greater Manchester?
Well, from my perspective as Chair of Overview and Scrutiny, our role in this is obviously to scrutinise what Cabinet puts in front of us. So I think I would like just to pass the ball to the Leader to see how he would respond to that question, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair, and thank Ms Solazzi for her question. As I've just outlined, having a clear eco standard and addressing climate change and the climate emergency is something that must run not just through Places for Everyone, but everything that we do as a council. Places for Everyone is actually a plan greater than what sometimes we spend most of our time talking about. It's a plan for homes, but also employment and the environment at the same time. So it does look at aiming to deliver that carbon neutral Greater Manchester no later than 2038, which would include obviously dramatic reductions in greenhouse gas emissions, building homes to a new standard, some of which I've outlined in the previous answer, introducing new infrastructure and technologies around electric charging, improving the access and quality of active travel, more sustainable heat and energy networks. And it's important that this plan is acknowledged, that this plan really just sets out that strategic aim, and it's the details within our local plan, which of course we're developing concurrently with the strategic aims of this, to really get into the detail of that, so that we can be really clear that in Bury, these are the details we want when it comes to standards for new homes, infrastructure, and how we tackle climate change. It should also include measures around flood mitigation, and we talked about that earlier today with the Greater Manchester leaders, the importance of having well-funded, well-resourced and high-capacity environmental agency services around flooding. And of course, very finally, we have the Greater Manchester Clean Air Plan, which will help improve air quality in many parts of the conurbation. Final point I just make on this, and I think it's a really crucial one because it comes to the heart of the question. The Places for Everyone plan, if adopted, is crucial to making sure that we can actually deliver on those ambitions. The key bit here is by having it as a statutory development plan, it allows the council to require certain standards within new developments. So we can actually insist upon these high standards from developers. And that should help us ensure that new housing is carbon neutral. We should be able to then encourage and deliver active travel, make adjustments to road layouts to prioritise walking and cycling, improve cycling infrastructure, integrated EV charging point infrastructure. And without a statutory plan, it's very difficult to refuse planning applications that don't meet those standards. So this is the opportunity for us to actually embed these in the plan, backed up with the detail in our local plan. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Leader.
Thank you. Supplementary question from the member of the public. Would it be appropriate to form an Environment Scrutiny Committee to be the vehicle for ensuring that this climate change is given the necessary priority?
Well, I think having just recently undertaken a constitutional review, as the authority has, where you've looked at overview and scrutiny arrangements, and you've indeed established a Children's Services Scrutiny Committee. Clearly, the view of the authority at the moment is the scrutiny arrangements are sufficient. And having discussed this with Councillor Quinn and the leader, I think we're all confident that overview and scrutiny can exercise the right level of scrutiny on the issue that has been raised.